Okay, I hope that this is the last but not the least day at CPHI. And I hope that the audience that have gathered here is really interested in the case which I'm going to present. So Russia challenges and opportunities, and how to gain success entering the Russian pharmaceutical market. Because really it is a real challenge and a great strategic issue how not just to enter this market, but to have a success. So just before going into this, into detail, let me represent myself. So I'm general manager of company Invar. Invar is a national pharmaceutical company working on the basis of in-licensing agreements. So just to put it simple, we in-license innovative products for the Russian territory. We have had this experience for 20 years already. Of course, just 20 years ago, nobody heard of in-licensing agreements, at least in Russia. So, and we based our work on exclusive distribution agreements. But now times have changed, and we also have changed and converted our distribution agreements into in-licensing ones. Just a few basic facts about the company. So, Inva generated more than $30 million in 2011. That makes her a well-made-sized company. So we are among top 30 of national pharmaceutical companies in Russia. We have 4 regional brands in gynecology, ENT, and derma, and all of our brands are found among top 500 best-selling products. So we focus our portfolio on RX and over-the-counter innovative products. You see that before 2006, we also have branded generics and generics in our portfolio, but since that time, we decided to focus only on original ones. We have representative offices in all 8 regional districts and federal districts in Russia. And the number of employees, more than 200, and 50% of them are sales personnel. So why I just represent this? Because so that you understand that we really have the experience in this field, and mostly in building strategic alliances with foreign partners for promoting products into the Russian market. But before going into different type of models and how to gain success in the Russian market, let me just say you why enter the Russian market and give you the basic figures. So nowadays Russia has reached the 8th place in the world pharmaceutical market. So we are not talking about the significant growth rate that we are having. We talk about that the amount of money in the Russian pharmaceutical market is becoming bigger and bigger. That's why, and I know that the Russian pharmaceutical market is one of the priorities for those foreign companies who think of territory expansion. Another thing is that Russia has been growing at an impressive 20% in the past 5 years. Notwithstanding the crisis that we too had in Russia, and the market is expected to grow with a double-digit rate for another, at least for another midterm period. So I must say that this is the right time for foreign companies to enter this market. That's why it's so many attention is now driven to our local market. So, and another question that definitely should arise when Russia is on your wish list. So, how to enter? Of course, this is the standard ways how the company may enter any local market. One of them, to build a local representative office. Well, this is the way, let's say, for Big Pharma, the only way for Big Pharma, because Big Pharma has no strategic issue, because this is the only way. But for other companies, it is a strategic issue, even for mid-sized companies, either to build a local representative office or to go through an in or out licensing model. And be sure that even for those companies who have resources for entering the Russian market should think it twice before doing this. And I will just tell you a bit about the risk that it may have. So that's why in and out licensing model is the most preferable ones. So what kind of companies out license for Russia? Before at the beginning of millennium, it was only mid-sized companies, niche specialized companies. Now, this model is used by a more extended list of the companies. So, why out-license to Russia? So, of course, the problem is that the company has no or limited sales. So, why out-license? And this is the key issue, that really the Russian pharmaceutical market is fast growing. You see those attractive figures, but it is not a transparent market. It is not predictable. So, for instance, if you have this model of entering via direct representative office, so you read the law, you read the legislation, you see how the market is built, and you go and just you follow the rules and you are in. In Russia, you may spend years to understand how this market is operated. Unfortunately, this is the thing about the Russian market. That's why, in order not to spend years to understand how it's operated, so it's better to go to a company that would offer you this in and out licensing services. Those reasons, well, they are globally recognized when a company decided to go for out licensing. One of them is limited or no resources for territory expansion, because lots of companies prefer to focus on R&D, on product development, and they leave the territory expansion for their partners. And another reason for local portfolio optimization. And this is the reason why many big pharma now in Russia and many other countries out-license products, because they see that a part of their portfolio is out of their focus. And that's why what to do with this, either to have low sales or to out-license these products to another company which could have a better result. And in these three issues drive you to find a local partner. Since we have been working in this field of strategic alliances for 20 years, so I give you here the licenser's perspective of an ideal licensee. And I believe that those who are in this business recognize their wish list. So, what a licensee would like to see in its partner. So, ambitious top line. Of course, a licensor is reluctant to give any exclusivity. So, because, well, he is afraid that maybe if things will not go well, so what to do with the partner? So, I will not go into detail because I hope that you recognize this wish list. The main thing is that it never happens. You will never are able to find such an ideal licensee. And what's even more important, that inside this wish list, there are many pros and cons. So how possible? So you are looking for a licensee who has expertise in this therapeutic area, where your product in, you want to have a strong sales coverage, but at the same time, you are not happy to find out that among this therapeutic area, a licensee has another product, because what you'd like to have, non-competition. But how it's possible just to have an expertise and to have no products in the portfolio? It's some pros and cons. Licensor is reluctant to give a large margin to the partner, but at the same time, what he's expecting to have maximum volumes. So wants to have a short initial duration on one hand, but to have this commitment. So you see that, well, there should be any compromise. Let's look on the other side. So, first of all, why in-license? Why the companies like Invar is interested in licensing products to Russia? Of course, the main reason that we have limited or no our own pipeline. And we see that the market is growing and this is the right time to enter with new products. And of course, an issue of portfolio optimization is also very important to us because we are always looking for products which are could be found in our current therapeutic areas. And another thing, which is a local reason, that we do not have new molecules in our national R&D institutions. You know that our President Putin has initiated the R&D development, or better say restoring. But years has to pass before we have this possibility and not to go to the foreign market for out-licensing. That's why the companies like Invar looks for a foreign partner in this case. Of course, we also have our wish list, so what the ideal licensor could be. But again, you see that inside this list, I will not go into it because I hope that those who are in this business also recognize this, because we always put it on the table, that it also never happens. It's not possible to find a licensor like that. Inside, there are pros and cons. So how it's possible to have low price for a product, for a unique product with broad clinical evidence base and high efficacy and safety? Of course, a licensor has invested a lots of money into this. Of course, a licensor in this case wants to put a high margin, and that's why either you should have a unique product and pay a price for that, or either you are not in this business. Also, another pros and cons just I would like to stipulate is that what a licensee wants its money back in two periods time. But at the same time, we are looking for products with big potential, just to have a leader in 5-6 years, but you have to invest into this. So just you have to follow this marketing strategy and maybe just to think twice about this economic issue. So is there any compromise? Because you see that the best thing is to find a compromise between these two players, between a licensee and a licensor. I would put these criteria for the Russian market only. So the basic criteria: 7-year exclusivity based on renewal terms. This is some compromise between a licensee and a licensor. Because why 7 years? Because nowadays in Russia, the payback period for new products, of course, I'm now just talked theoretically because that depends on a certain product. But on overall, it's from 3 years to 5 years time. So at least a licensee has up to 4 to 5 years having any profit before just after the payback period. Then another question that also raised by the partners: who has the ownership? Who is the holder of marketing authorizations? This is also a great issue. Our experience shows that while the manufacturer keeps the ownership of the product, the partners is the holder of marketing authorization. So I will not go into details. If you have questions on that, I just may explain you a bit below. EU jurisdiction. This is the best thing for any contract, because the Russian legislation is not that transparent, and a foreign partner will be drowned into it. And another thing is similar size companies match the best. So size does matters, and we have come up through many experience, when we just on our experience and from what we have been monitoring in the market, that when there is a contract between a small-sized company and mid-sized company, there are lots of indiscrepancies while fulfilling the contract. And that's why it's best to make a contract within the similar size companies, because they are at the same level of development. And beware in the mind, especially when you go into the local market like Russia, is to deal with a respectable company which has reputation. How to find that out? Of course, please go to the current partners that this company claims to have. Go to marketing agencies. See if they really have this critical coverage, target coverage that they are just claiming to you. So find any information about the company, because we have statistics, we have everything. The same I just might tell on the other side. So if you find a foreign partner, you could also have lots of information about what's really important. Of course, the reputation of the company, how it has built these strategic alliances in other local markets. If a manufacturer has enough manufacturing facilities just to guarantee that you are always in stock, so on and so forth. So lots of things to be taken into account. Another thing is that it could be a compromise as well, that if both partners are focused, or both partners are focused on this in or out licensing model, it could be a really effective deal. Why? Because the possibility to make a marketing strategy from scratch. I just tell you from my own experience. We have different partners, and some partners do have their global marketing strategy for the product, and others do not have anything. They just have a product and they say, do what you want. And of course, in order to be just effective, your marketing department should be able either to adapt a global strategy, and sometimes it's really very difficult, because you should elaborate this, you should think twice, because the first thing is just to take global strategy and copy it. We should think where there are discrepancies, and then you have to prove it to your partner, because the partners are mostly reluctant sometimes to change their global strategy. On the other hand, when you have just a product with no strategy, with no marketing, so your department should be able to elaborate from scratch. Another thing is that corresponding organizational structure. So each partner should be, let's say, partner-oriented. I came across a situation when we tried to make a deal with one big pharmaceutical company, which decided to out-license some of its over-the-counter portfolio, and we were involved in negotiations, and we sent inquiries about the clinical studies of the products that they offered to us. And the business development manager says, you know, it will take 2 months just to respond to your inquiry. Why? Because our medical department now is focused on our own production problems. So you see that it's not partner-oriented. If we talk about big pharma, there should be at least some specialized department which work with only the in-licensing partners. So, and flexibility to address the customer needs. So, if you work in different markets, so I just now talk about the manufacturers, so please just be ready that some markets would like to have some line extension or product adaptation. And if you are ready to do this, you will have a bigger turnover in the long run. So, as for the product portfolio and marketing strategy, what's here is important. It's important not to have just agreed sales commitment, because when a partner starts telling me about how much are you going to sell in the market? And just this is the only thing that interests him. I just say to myself, it's not my partner, because the main thing is not just how much we are going to achieve, but how we are going to achieve this. Because and it's really important to have a shared marketed vision, because the situation may change. So that will definitely impact your sales commitment in a better way or in a worse way. The main important thing is to have this shared marketing idea behind that. Then, of course, from my experience, is the optimal amount of products to have in the in-license portfolio. I talk about the therapeutic portfolio, not more than 5 products. When your partner has more than 5, well, I think a question should be raised about what priority you are going to receive in this case. And of course, product formation match. So if you have an original product, just do not go and out-license this to a company that deals with branded generics and generics, and the same and vice versa, because it really matters what competences the company have in this case. So why a bit of commercial? Why partner with Invar? So we have competencies in selling premium innovative RX and over-the-counter drugs. We have track records of success with our in-license portfolio. We deal only with in-license products. We don't have an in-license portfolio in our own portfolio. You know that in this case, what's more important to a partner? Of course, their own products. And we have this long experience working in this model. Just give you some examples of how we work. So this is one of the products, Gynaflow E, the product used for vaginal flora restoration, produced by Swiss company Medinova, and by the way, this company is represented here. So we launched this product in 2010. It's RX product. You understand all the problems concerning this. So the market is not big. It's just developing in Russia, just 15 million. So what are our results? By the end of this year, so we are to achieve 20% of this market. And our sales, 2.6 million euro. So to achieve such results, this is, I'm sure that this is not only successful for the Russian market, but for any other market as well. Let's show you another example. This is another product that we launched in 2006. Sinoforte in Europe, it's more known like a Nazodren. It's registered like a medical device. We managed to register it as an over-the-counter drug. But see the figures that we managed to achieve. This is a bigger market, 52 million. And we are having now 15% of the market, generating 7 million euro. So in fact, Invar has built just based on these examples, local market leaders. The same could be told about other examples. So, but since we are limited of time, I will not go into them. But I definitely could comment you a bit more about this if you go to our booth. We would talk about our company, give you some commercial things.